So, welcome to Northern Powerhouses, our business success stories series of interviews, where we discuss with local business leaders their backgrounds, their successes, their challenges, and what's really driving them forwards. And this afternoon, I'm delighted to have with us Mike Gore, who's the founder at Virtuoso Golf. So, firstly, Mike, thank you for spending some time with us. And if you'd like to introduce yourself, Virtuoso Golf, what you do, how you help people, that'd be wonderful.
Thanks for inviting me on, Chris. Yeah, I'm Mike Gore. I'm founder of Virtuoso Golf. We're a 5-bay indoor golf facility. All 5 bays have got Trackman, the left and right-handed, and it's basically world-class facilities to practice using the same equipment that Tiger uses, Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler uses, but to go with that, there's then a fun aspect for beginners where there's all sorts of games on there. So as well as practicing and playing golf courses, you can blow up cars with sticks of dynamite and cartoon characters. So yeah, it's just like trying to encompass golfers of all abilities and from all walks of life.
That's great, Val. I did that because I was going to say I'm not a golfer. I've dabbled a long time ago, but I'm not a golfer. And therefore I do exclude myself from things with my friends that are golfers. But
yeah, well, my thing with that, Chris, when I talk about that is, I bet the majority of people aren't 10-pin bowlers, but they go 10-pin bowling.
Great point.
So this is that, but with golf. So I've got everything here for people just to try it, and then if you like it, you carry on, and if you don't, you just come once a year and just have a laugh and a beer with you.
It really does. I will come on to what makes a great client, but that would really interest me because I know, as I say, I've got several friends who like to play golf. It isn't something I will go and we'll do 18 holes with just because I know how bad. I'd hold them up. But doing something like that where it doesn't really matter where it goes, or you can blow up cars with sticks of dynamite, that sounds.
Well, you're not going to lose a golf ball in here anyway.
No, I've lost many of those. I can assure you, in my early days. So what? I mean, you've described really well that it's for everybody. But what makes a great customer for you, a great client? Is there anything that stands out? Any type of person or type of group?
No, the customer base is so wide. Just the other day, we had a 2-year-old in one of the bays, and in the bay next to him was an 88-year-old. So 86 years difference. I actually put a post out on it on Instagram, and it was just shows how great this game is. That I think it's the best game in the world, golf. But it just shows how great it is, that the contrast in ages and the contrast in abilities and all that sort of stuff, that people can still go and play. And with the handicap system, I can be competitive against Rory McIlroy. I can still beat Rory.
Yeah,
with the handicap system. So yeah, I mean, everywhere we have SEN groups coming in, special education needs coming in, a group called 5 Senses who come in quite often with adult special needs, and they come in and they play on the games, play the 10-pin bowling game and the scrapyard where they blow up the cars that you were talking about. So and then I've had the England golfers and pro golfers coming into practice in the bay next to them. So it's just the variance. It's great. It is really good.
It's great to see. Yeah, just to really understand that it's so inclusive. Clearly, what you're saying is that anybody can come and have a great time.
Yeah, we've had partially sighted kids in, so they're really struggling to see. But what we do is we turn up the volume on the games, so they can hear all the explosions and all. It's great to see. I love what you stand here on a Friday night and all you hear is people laughing and joking, because obviously it's not as serious as on the course.
Yes.
So if someone hits a bad shot, rather than the mates kind of commiserating with them, they laugh at them in here.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. Love it. Absolutely love it. So perhaps we start by looking backwards, and you can tell us a little bit more about your background, how you got into business and why this particular one for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've never dreamed about having a business, to be honest with you. I joined the army when I was 18 and did 13 years in the army. Then I went working offshore on the oil rigs and the turbines for 17 years. And it was, I was doing quite a manual job on the rigs. And obviously with everything that I'd done in the army, I'd gone a little bit army-barmy towards the second half of my career and gone and done a commando course and a para course. So you can imagine how my knees were. So then on the rigs, I was doing a thing called rope access, which is industrial abseiling.
Right. Yep.
So if you've seen the window cleaners on the high-rise flats,
Yes.
and they're on the ropes, I'm doing that on the rigs and the turbines. So you're
Oh.
carrying big heavy bags of ropes around and climbing around. It was really manual. I'm nearly 50. I'm 49. I'm 50 in March. So my body was starting to give up on me a little bit with all the manual stuff, and that just got me thinking, well, what do you want to do? If you're going to
Yep.
have another career change, it needs to be something that you like.
Yep.
And probably golf's one of my loves. So I thought, right, let's see what I can do in golf. Clearly not good enough to be a professional. And yeah, so I was actually looking at putting a home simulator in the back garden for me and my son, who's a keen golfer, to play.
Yep.
And that got me thinking, well, if I want one in the back garden,
Yep.
who else would want one? And then the way I sold it to my wife was, if I go up to the golf club and say, if money's no object and you've got room in your house, would you have a golf simulator in your house? 95% of the golf members would all say yes.
Yep.
So next best thing, they don't need to buy it, they can just come here and do it.
Brilliant.
That was kind of my my
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
around.
Wonderful. And since obviously you started the business, what are some of the key challenges you've had to overcome so far?
Oof, the main challenge, and I would say this will probably be, I could imagine for most businesses, is location. So
Yeah.
obviously, with it being quite a niche business, you need high ceilings, obviously, that you can see here.
Yes.
You need parking, because no one wants to be carrying
Yep.
the golf bag for 500 meters. So you need parking outside. The location, and if I'm being honest with you, Chris, anything government led was then a challenge. So we needed to get change of use, because obviously it was indoor storage and warehouse was the use
Yep. Yep.
for this warehouse. So we needed it to indoor leisure, and local government just don't want to help you. It cost us £1,000, and we had to wait for 10 weeks for them to say, yeah, we'll give you change of use. So it surprised me, because you're looking at investing a lot of money into the local economy,
Yeah.
and the local council are trying to find, why can't you be in the why can't you do it in the town centre? And I'm like, because there's no parking, and you haven't
Yeah.
got the ceilings that we need. And
Yeah.
I'd actually walked around the town centre with the town centre manager, who couldn't have been any more helpful.
Yeah.
And he was trying to find places for us. And then he worked in the same building as these people who were saying, we need evidence as to why you can't do it in the town centre. He sent them an email, and he still said, yeah, that's not good enough, we need proof. And literally anything government led, it just business rates, all that sort of, they seem to put blocks in your way, which it surprises me. It's like they're trying to set you up to fail. Anything government led is trying to set you up to fail. And that really surprised me, because I thought that they'd be trying to help you.
Unfortunately, yeah, that's a fairly it is fairly common. I think the challenge is a lot of people that work in councils don't understand business, and therefore don't really understand the drivers that we have on cash flow, on the responsibilities that we have because from employing people, all these sorts of challenges, and don't understand that we have to move fast because we haven't got time to wait, because time is, the old phrase, time is money.
Exactly. They're in a job, so they're getting paid regardless. So I'm ringing up and I'm going, when am I going to get this decision? Yeah, it's we're making our way to yours. And you're like, at the time I was paying rent on
Right.
this place
Yep.
for 3 months while I was waiting for them to give us an answer on whether we could or not. And it's just, I mean, I know of someone else who's tried to open another place like this up in Blackpool, and the local council knocked them back and said, "Yeah, we don't want you to change the use. We just want to keep it as warehouse and light industrial." And you're like, I don't understand what they're thinking. What harm is it changing the use?
Yeah, I got no. totally get it. I think it's a really good point you're raising because it's there's lots of standard challenges for businesses around cash flow, bringing clients in, all that, and they still exist. I'm sure. I would imagine you still have experienced a lot of those, but understanding that there are lots and lots of barriers to starting a business, and it's really important. I think that we do our best to research it, but yeah, unfortunately, there does tend to be a lot of business obstacles in the way,
Yeah.
especially when it
Things that
comes to
you wouldn't even know until you get into it. And
yeah,
then and people would look around and go, oh, it looks quite easy what you've done, but they just don't see that literally every day you're putting out fires. This is that, and you're like,
yeah.
what? Why? And then why is that? And then you're trying to ring someone up, no phone number, emails. They get back to you 4 days later, and you're just like, oh my god. You
I
know,
shouldn't be laughing. I'm so sorry, but it is
yeah,
that.
yeah, no, it is.
I,
It is laughable
I'm sure
because
there's plenty of
these
people that would
people,
empathise with you right now. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, and then literally you're open, and 6 months later, they can see that it's actually a good facility, and then the council ring you up and
yes,
go, the mayor would like to do a visit and do an official opening if that's possible, and you're like,
yeah.
what?
That's a really good. That's not a good point, but it's a really interesting point, isn't it? All of a sudden, when it's demonstrated, and that's the challenge. It's. I think one of the things of being an entrepreneur, for want of a better word, in business is that it's a lot of people operate on seeing is believing. So I believe when I see it. We have to operate on see. Sorry, yeah, seeing is believing. We have to operate on believing is seeing. We have to operate on. You would have walked into that place empty and it had to imagine what it would be like and what you would put where and all these sorts of things.
Yeah, yeah.
And just
This was literally an empty. There was nothing.
I can
There was
imagine,
nothing.
yeah,
It was so yeah. So we built it all. Which I mean, the tradesmen who did it are so skilled. It's
wonderful,
unbelievable. It was
yeah,
it was it was crazy. Watch. I loved watching. To be
Ah,
honest with you,
brilliant, brilliant.
yeah,
I must
they were great.
I must persuade my friends to come over. We have a trip over there at
Yeah,
some
come
point.
over, have a game of golf.
That would be really brilliant. So we talked a little bit about challenges, and obviously that's interesting. What would you say some of your key wins? What are the things that looking back you celebrate?
Choosing the right people to help us.
Great,
The guys who helped us build it, and then go in with the sim with the simulator that we've got. It's a simulator called Trackman, which is it's like I say, it's the one that Rory uses and Scotty Scheffler and
brilliant.
you using them guys and their advice for us, and actually not being that pig-headed, thinking that you know everything, and actually listening to the people who know what they're going on about,
Yeah,
and trusting them that they're actually wanting you to succeed, because then that helps them succeed. If you succeed, that's a success for Trackman.
yeah,
The guys who built the bays called it was a business called Golf Bays, who were about half an hour away, and then they were putting out videos about how good this place was. So not
brilliant.
yeah. Yeah, does that make sense? I don't know
Yeah,
whether
yeah,
I've explained that right for you, but yeah, having the right people
yeah.
around.
Yeah, and I think the other thing pulling out of that is that trusting on other people's judgment. And I know these are specific people, but it's actually being open. One of the things, interestingly enough, and I think it's great that you have been, is that it does take vision and focus to start a business. We have to be determined. We have to believe we're doing the right thing, and it does make it difficult to look at the bigger picture sometimes. It's like, no, I'm going to do this. And so it's a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
example of, yeah, but look, every now and again, put your head up, look round, see is there help and advice that we can draw on? Because most people want to help anyway. I mean, obviously in the cases you've identified, there's a win-win situation, but anyone in business typically will help anybody else if they can.
exactly that. And I think one of the main things that I didn't realize I probably did realize, but I didn't understand it as much. When you're doing your own business, you're instantly a project manager.
Yeah,
So I've gone from being an electrician offshore and actually going doing the job to having to watch people do the
yeah,
job. And yeah, that was I wanted to go, and I'm used to going getting the tools out and going helping them, and I couldn't. And that then wasn't my role, and it just changed
yeah,
like that. And especially because the first year we were open, I was still working offshore for a year. So
Right.
I was going offshore for 2 weeks, and then I was coming back, and it was like, right, take off my electrician's
Amazing.
hat, and then put on my project managing hat, that was, if that makes sense, that
Yeah.
was quite new. My job was then ringing people up and answering emails, and you finish the day thinking, I've not done anything, but you
Yeah.
had. But you hadn't, you didn't have anything that you could see that was now working or built or done.
Yeah.
But you had still done something.
Absolutely. It's just
That was a
different
hard
things.
one. It was a hard one to get my head around. That.
It's something we I do a lot of work with people on this idea of this identity shift from and one of the biggest challenges we all have is we're almost all brought up with the very correct phrase: the harder we work, the more successful you'll be. And it's a truism. You work hard, you'll be more successful. The challenge is, as a business owner, we get to a point where if we still make it about us, we become the limitation.
Yeah,
And we have
yeah,
to actually, as you rightly said, it's no longer me doing the sparking work or whatever. Other people have got to do it for me. It's not me managing this. Somebody, running that. Somebody else is going to do it. My job is focusing on managing and growing the business.
yeah, yeah.
And that is phone calls, it's emails. It's not necessarily dealing with customers, even though that might be the reason we started in the first place.
It might be something as stupid as simple as keeping the joiner happy. At 8 o'clock on a Friday night, and he's just trying to finish off what he's
Yes,
doing. Open him a beer, give him a bottle of beer.
brilliant,
And then the people who are working for you are happy. The job
brilliant,
gets done, and it's mad, stupid stuff like that. And it, yeah, or yeah, here's a bit of pizza or something just to keep them
brilliant.
happy. Because if
It's
he just sees that you're sat in the office on your phone, not doing
yes,
anything, and he's doing all the work, just making everyone feel like everyone's trying to go in the same direction. That
absolutely.
makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, makes perfect sense. Absolutely. And do you have any favourite quotes or sayings you catch yourself using on a regular basis about business or life in general that you can share?
Yeah, so right. So the one I always used when I was in the army, when people were asking me about doing the para course or the commando course, was, well, thousands of people have done it before you, and loads of people are going to do it after you. So why can't you do it?
Love it. Love it.
And I always said that when anyone asked me about, yeah, but do you think I'm physical able to? And I'm like, I did it.
Brilliant.
That like all my mates who are para and commando trained as well could do it, and it's the same with the business. I mean, I think you've got to. I got to a low where I didn't want to do my job anymore. That
Yeah.
kind of pushed me into going doing something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Well, I think you've either got to have the drive to want to work for yourself, or you've got to hit a low that goes, I can't do this anymore. I can't go and
Yeah.
fly offshore on it by helicopter and spend 2 weeks away from my wife and family anymore.
No.
I've done it I've been away since I was 18. I don't want to do it anymore. I got
Yeah.
to that low there. Or you've got to have that drive where you just go, I want to work for myself.
Yeah. I love it. No, it's really good point. And it's interesting you mentioned about if somebody else has done it. I don't know if you know, but if you've heard of the guy who set the 4 minute mark, Sir Roger Bannister.
Roger Bannister, yeah.
Bannister. I don't know if you know the story of what followed, but
Yeah, straight away. So I listen to there's Dr. Bob Rotella. He's done quite a few books. He's actually a psychologist over in America. Does a lot of work with golfers.
oh right,
Yeah, and he talks about him in one of his books, how to think like a champion.
yep.
And he talks about how I'm sorry, I don't mean to steal.
No, keep
Where
going. It's all great.
as soon as he broke it, no, everyone said that the human body can't break the 4 minute mile. As soon as he did it, literally a couple of weeks later, about 4 or 5 people did it.
Absolutely. I think it was something like 43 people in the first 12 months after. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just like, and it was considered impossible. What's really interesting, I guess, right now is obviously someone's just run the sub 2 hour marathon.
Right.
Considered absolute. I saw an interview less than 10 years ago when it was said it's physically impossible. And no one was ever going to do it because it was just like that a step too far. And now someone's done it, and I'm absolutely sure it's going to become the norm moving
See,
forward.
it might have been 40 or 50 years ago, because obviously evolution. Everyone's getting bigger. Everyone's
Yes,
getting
true.
stronger. But it's still always possible. And it, like,
Yeah.
why not?
Why
Why
not me?
not?
Why not me? Exactly
And,
right.
and if you don't try, so that's something else that my wife said. She said when we were looking at setting this up, and obviously you're getting a lot of loans and stuff, like putting yourself in quite a lot of debt. And she said to me, "Does it not scare you?" And I said, "Well, yeah, but what scares me more is being where we are now in 10 years' time."
Oh, wow. That's very powerful.
If that makes sense. So at the time when I was looking at setting this up, I was 45, and I was thinking, if I'm 55 and still flying offshore and
Yes.
still spending time away from you guys, that scares me more to be there.
Love it.
And I
Brilliant.
might still end up there. Do you know what I mean? If this doesn't work out, we're only 3 years in. If this doesn't work out, but at least I've tried.
Absolutely.
Do you
Wonderful.
know what I mean? Imagine being 70, 80 and going, I wish I'd have done that. At
Yeah.
least I've tried that.
Well done. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And
That's
it
kind of where my head was.
say again.
That's kind of where my head was with it when I was thinking about it.
I think that's great, and it because it all. I mean, fear is probably the biggest thing that holds most of us back from achieving things. So finding ways to overcome that, and as you say, the fear of being the same. A lot of people don't consider that as a fear. So the fear is that it's going to be the same in another 10 years if we don't do something different. Is a very powerful driver. And any you obviously mentioned the guy you spoke about. Any other favourite books or podcasts you could recommend?
Um, what was the high performance podcast I like? I do like listening to a bit of that stuff. Um, yeah, just I Bob Rotella, but the Bob Rotella one is
Thank you. Yeah.
yeah, just how to think like a champion. It's so simple. Some of the stuff he says when he says about start to feel nervous, and that he says just smile. As soon as you
Yeah.
smile, your shoulders drop. Every just I'm trying to think. The high performance one's a good one that I quite like.
Yes.
Stephen Bartlett's quite good. There was I'm trying to think of a friend of mine who's very, very high up in the golf greenkeeping world. He's the course manager at a golf club called Wallasey, and he mentioned a book to me. I can't remember the name of it. And I'm reading it. It's something about hospitality, and it was about a restaurant over in New York that wanted to get Michelin stars and how they went about it.
Yeah.
Unrealistic hospitality.
Yeah. Great.
Unreal. So, and everything they did, everyone was saying that's unrealistic. You're not going to, if you're going to put that much time into doing it,
Brilliant.
you're not going to make money. And the greenkeeper's a guy called John McLaughlin, and he's just blow your mind how his attention to detail. He's got Wallasey. People walk away from Wallasey and talk about the grass paths. Now, that's how good the grass paths are that take you from the green to a tee and then
Right.
down.
Yeah.
And he's basically cut them like fairways with semi-rough. And
Brilliant. Lovely.
and he told me about the square meterage of how much of these they have to cut, and people were saying it's unrealistic to
Right.
do it, but everyone talks about them.
Brilliant.
And the course is it's manicured as good as any course in the world, but people to come away and talk about these grass paths, and and it's not even part of the playing area.
Yeah. Yeah.
But little bits of attention to
Fascinating.
detail. He's if yeah he does he goes over to America and does talks on greenkeeping with the people from Royal Birkdale and Royal Liverpool.
Right.
He's just like you say, you go around these people and you're just like, wow, and then you need to pull your socks up because you're thinking, right, I might not hoover one day, and you're like, well, that's lazy, do it.
Yeah. 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 And it's all these fine details, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it can be quite amazing. So sorry, did you say the name of the book was See,
Unrealistic hospitality.
love that. Thank you. I've not heard of that one. There's some really
Yeah, yeah.
great books on those sorts of things, but that
I'm
that
pretty
that
sure that's what the name of it anyway. But I've got it on messages.
we'll
I
we'll
think it's
find it. We'll put it into
unrealistic
the
hospitality, and it's about a restaurant over in New York.
brilliant.
Yeah, yeah.
And just staying on the sort of learning path, what would you say you've learned about yourself throughout your journey so far?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. Is the honesty? I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I can't believe I've got my own business. You kind of get imposter syndrome. Like I spoke to you before we started. I was down in Westminster and I was doing a talk in front of a government minister, and I'm thinking, what am I doing here? Why would anyone be interested in what I've got to say? I suppose, yeah, just have a bit more belief in yourself.
Brilliant.
But anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Actually, what I've learned about myself, I'm not sure is the honest answer. That's a hard question, that isn't it?
I
Probably need
guess
a couple
so.
of hours to think about that.
I guess so. Yeah, no, but it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one to answer for yourself as much as anybody else.
Yeah,
Because and part of the reason that I would suggest it's useful is just to reinforce those learnings, if that makes sense. I've learned how to do this. I've learned how to do that, and it's part of like celebrating wins. For me, it builds resilience. So when we actively, consciously talk about it and think about it, it builds resilience because then we go, well, actually, no, I'm way better than I was when I started because I've learned this and this and this, and
yeah,
this business is is way better because we've achieved that, that, and that. And so, in difficult times, we know we're good enough. We know we're good enough. We know the business is good enough. So it's a good activity to do occasionally, not every day necessarily, but what have we learned every week, every month? Um,
got to find time for that, though, haven't you?
that's fair enough. That's
Maybe in bed when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to think, oh, I've paid that tax bill, and then have a little bit of reflection time.
brilliant. Well, that actually comes on to my next question, which in Action Coach, my organisation, we have a definition of what we call a true business, and that being a commercial profitable enterprise that works without its owners,
Yeah,
i.e., our focus, we don't need to be in the business on a day-to-day basis. How do you feel about that as a definition of a business, Mike?
I think that'd be quite hard because obviously, you'd like to get to that point, but I love being here.
Yes.
So for two reasons, I love being here because I sit here and talk to people about golf
Yes. Brilliant.
and have a cup of coffee with them. So it isn't like work for me. And then the other side of it is because I do that, myself and my wife are the so even though we've got this, we are the business as well. So we're kind of like the old bartender where the person comes in and you talk to them, and so
Yep.
you are the business. So if you're not here, you need someone else
Yes.
who you can trust to do that and actually show an interest in people and actually
Yep.
listen to people and listen to the. Go on, then tell me. But what did you go on? What happened on the eighth hole on Saturday, then, mate? I mean, I was dead unlucky. I did this, and I can actually be interested in them rather than
Brilliant.
just going, yeah, the bay's over there, on you go. So I don't know whether I'd want to. I think even if we did set up another one, I'd still want to be in and about and doing it. I enjoy it. So
It, I often put can in there, i.e., can work without its owners, because if there's stuff that you enjoy, why would you stop? I 100% agree. I think interestingly enough, I think the point about starting is really interesting point. Starting a second one requires you not to be required in the first one,
yeah,
and so it's actually a good way of creating something that works less and less or works more and more without you, if that makes sense. Because
definitely. Yeah,
you can't if you can't be there, for instance, you can't be opening up, for instance, as an example, and you may not be doing that anymore now. But if you can't, therefore somebody else does. So it's a good exercise of even if you never do it, if we did have a second one, how would we delegate? But it's an aspiration. It's not for everybody. I think the key thing is being clear that and the reason we create that definition is we say anything less than that we've still got a job, and the job's fine, but it's trading time for money. And it's just
Yeah.
understanding that. And it may be a really well paid job that we love. Clearly, you love what you do. It's just being comfortable with that as a definition, because ultimately, if we did want the opportunity that it didn't work without us, it did work without us, there's things that need to be done, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, well, that'd be the ideal thing was that it could work without you, and it can, because a lot of people just come in and just want to practice and even put their earphones in and
Yep.
just like, um, yeah. I mean, the ideal thing would be in the end that you
Yeah.
can dip in and out, wouldn't it? But whether, yeah,
It,
I'd love to, and I am looking at opening another one
brilliant.
with friends, with friends who are in the army who've seen it and gone, I fancy a bit of that as
Love
well,
it.
and then I can help them out and maybe trying to get a bit of a franchise, but they would then be doing what I'm doing,
Yeah.
and I know that they're capable of doing what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's where the thing will come in.
So, Mike, what does the future look like for you guys, and what challenges do you think you might face, if any?
I'd clearly I'd like to expand. I'd love to open another one or two, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
But that then brings in the problem, which is staff. And speaking to other business owners, they actually say the main problem that any business has is staff. So, like the business owners, they spend all their time looking after the staff and trying to keep them happy. And
Yeah.
with staff comes more problems again. So that's kind of where we. So I think I'd rather do a franchise so that
Yeah.
I help people set up, but they're the boss.
Yeah.
So it's down to them. I don't have to worry about them, and there's not really that much of a risk for me
Yes.
doing that. I've got friends who I was in the army with who've actually joined the police, and they're coming up to retirement age now. So they're looking at
Yes.
doing something that they would enjoy doing. They see that I enjoy doing this. They like golf as well, so they're asking me about that. So that would be the ideal if I could set up a franchise and my friends then
Brilliant.
run their own business. And I just
Brilliant.
basically use my contacts and help them with my knowledge of what I've learned over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I think that would be
Wonderful.
perfect.
That sounds very exciting way moving forward. Um, and a couple of last questions. What would be the best advice you could give an 18-year-old you if you could go back in all that time and do so? So that's you're just about to join the
That,
army.
that is something that I have actually thought about, and I would just do everything the same.
Brilliant.
If you change anything, you don't meet the people that you meet.
Yep, I
You
agree.
don't have the family that you've had. So even if you change something little, like wouldn't have gone out as much, well, then maybe your life would have changed, and I wouldn't have the kids that I've got. I wouldn't have the wife. I wouldn't change anything. I
Love it.
literally
I'm in,
just do everything that you did.
I'm in your camp, funny enough. Exactly the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
It's like it's that sliding doors moment, isn't it? If you don't, if your life could go a totally different way if you just did one small decision differently. So
What's
let's
the most important thing in your life? It's your friends and family, isn't it?
yeah,
So if you change anything, you wouldn't have the same friends and family. So would you swap them for anything? No. So why would you
absolutely.
change anything?
Absolutely. Mike, it's been fascinating talking to you today. Thank you so much for sharing.
No, I've really enjoyed talking to you, Chris. It's been
It
great.
really is
Weird
brilliant.
talking about myself, but there you go.
No, no. Well, we said it's like, but we, that's it's a part of a business owner's job is to talk about himself and your business. And for anyone that's watching that would like to get in touch with you, Virtuoso Golf, if you just want to remind us where either contact details and where to find us, that would be great.
Yeah, yeah. So our email address, and please, anyone needs, I'm an ambassador for the British Business Bank for the veterans. So if anyone needs any
Brilliant.
help with the ex-forces enterprise and all that sort of stuff, please get in touch. It's info@ virtuoso-golf.co.uk, and you can find us on the internet, and our phone numbers are all on there. Please just get in touch. When I was setting up this place, I went to an indoor golf place down in Stoke, and a guy called Mans from Going Golf. He couldn't have been any more helpful, and he was saying about karma. He said, hopefully, if I help you, karma comes round. And I'm a big believer in that as well. As long as it's not going to directly affect my business, I'm more than happy to help anyone.
Brilliant. Absolutely love it. Well, as I say, it'd be great to swing by in another 6, 12 months and just see next steps and whether you've got your eye on a new place or the franchise. But for now, thank you so much for your time.
Chris, thank you. Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.